What have you seen out of Josh Adams over the last couple weeks once, it seems like his hamstring is kind of healed up and he's back to full strength?
Yeah, we in the last couple of weeks we've seen exactly what we expected to get out of Josh all season until he suffered a couple tweaks and injuries. He's a guy who pushes through the first contact, and as our most dominant and by reps I'm saying most dominant back, who's consistently out there with us. He's able to extend the field east and west, and also be able to put his foot in the ground and break through the first tackle and stay up and get a couple extra yards for us. His development and his ability to peak towards the end of the season right now is allowing us to get that run game going the way we've needed it to be all season, and allow the pass game to develop off of that.
Did you, Mike McGlinchey was just in here saying he didn't really have to say anything to Josh because he, kept his mentality pretty high earlier in the season. Did you kind of see the same thing out of him, that you didn't really need to go in and say, hey, Josh, you're going to get through this? You're still the same guy you were last year, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, no. You don't have to say a word to him. He's a guy who is in his own mind. He plays like a veteran at all times. I think we saw that last year as a true freshman when he stepped up and carried himself both off the field and on the field as a guy who we could trust in and put a lot of responsibility on. And I think that continued on this season, maybe through a time where we weren't running the ball the way we wanted to. But now he's back in full in motion, and we obviously are developing our run game really nicely right now, and very confident in our ability to handle the ball and make big plays.
Do you feel like the Army game was your guys' most complete offensive game of the year?
I think that in the last couple weeks we're really getting towards that. I can't say it was our most complete. There's definitely some times in that game where we're not executing at our best. I think we executed really well against Navy, and I think we executed really well against Miami. I think that we're definitely heading in the right direction at this time of the year, as needed with the rough start that we had.
Has it been a lot of getting the run game going so it's not kind of all on your shoulders over that stretch?
It's hard to say that. I think that it's more about just executing plays that are being called. In the beginning of the season, we put ourselves in positions where we had to throw the ball a lot in the second half, and I think that's why the emphasis was on our passing game. Now we're in a position where we're having a little more success in the beginning of the game. Being able to convert on some big third downs, which allows us to get some big time first and second down runs, where now at the end of the season, you could point in any direction and expect success out of both sides of the offense, both run and pass.
And last one for me, you spent a whole season as Scott Daly's holder. What kind of a teammate and a person is he, in the time that you got to know him?
He's awesome. His consistency is, second to none. For a guy who's a senior, has been through a little bit of everything here, and to remain the same as that guy each day is awesome. You can definitely see his development physically in the last 3 years I've been here, and he's the type of guy that you look up to in terms of remaining disciplined in who you are and who you want to be, and taking every rep and every opportunity seriously.
Actually, I got one more. Who throws a better spiral, you or Scott?
I think it's been proven that Scott throws a better spiral than I do.
Thanks.
John, just wondering when did you grow more comfortable? It's pretty clear you are now with KJ Stefferson. I know it's got to be a process with so many young guys. You couldn't really, if he was like your only young receiver, you could have really honed in with him. But when did you kind of see him where you start to rely on him more and more?
I think that in the last 3 weeks, he's definitely taken off as an elite top receiver in the country. I think that he was in a position at the beginning of the year where we're going to put him in for a couple of electric plays, and then allow some of the older guys to take on more of the reps. I think that in the last 3 weeks we've seen that he is a consistent guy that we can trust in, and has developed into one of our top receivers. He made a comment to me last week where I came on the sideline, and he got pressed one play out of the whole game. And after that one play, he felt disrespected. And I think that's the confidence that he has, where he thinks that if there's a guy out there pressing him, he needs the ball in his hands. And if you have that confidence in yourself, no matter what age you are or how many times you've been out there or whatever your experience levels are, as a quarterback, you need to make sure you're getting the ball in his hands because he's going to make something happen after he catches the ball.
Another guy, it looked like your guys were trying to get Chase Claypool involved a little bit. There was the horizontal pass to him, and you looked for him on a slant at the end zone that you almost caught yourself. But what's the next step for Chase? I know Coach Kelly has mentioned that he's kind of still learning the game coming from Canada and the rules there.
Yeah, the whole receiving core, the development all the way across the board has been awesome. We've had to throw him to the fire, obviously, early in the season, and we saw great success rates with him. A bunch of guys who are out there playing in some of their first games. And now, towards the end of the season, you see a consistent development across the board with him. Chase is a guy where, with his size and strength, he's very unique in the sense that you can treat him like a tight end in the run game where he's going to be able to take a corner and block him into the end zone if he has to. But now we're finding ways to allow that size and strength to move over into our pass game. Obviously, he made a couple clutch catches against Michigan State, and he's definitely showed some spurts. Now getting towards the later end of the season when you have to start working on personnel stuff and throwing in different packages, he's a guy that we're going to have to make sure that he gets a couple touches because like any of the other guys out there with his size and speed, he's able to make some big plays and break off for some big runs. He's just waiting on his opportunity to get that.
Hey, DeShone. Do you feel that you need to have failure and adversity in order to succeed?
Absolutely. I think this season has taught me that. You don't respect and appreciate the ups when you don't go through the downs, and I think that this season has really proved to me that in order to achieve greatness, you have to see what it's like to be on the other side of it. Last year, I was thrown to a fire and came out pretty successful, and that was my whole career up until that point was me being a top athlete in a leading position and being successful. And this year has been the first year where I didn't have the start that I really wanted to have, and I really had to experience what it was like to be a losing quarterback. And with that, I think I've learned quite a bit in the sense of in order to maintain the elite stature and to maintain success, you have to be able to feel what it's like to be on the other side of it so you can appreciate what goes into being successful.
What examples in your life, maybe even outside of football, are proof that failure does lead to success?
I think my finance grade says a lot about it. Started off a little weak, and now from that, I definitely put in a couple more hours in tutoring it with my tutor to pick that back up.
What did you say your grade was?
Next question.
Mike McGlinchey was just in here and said that the attitude of the team could have easily gone a different way. How could it have gone a different way, and why didn't it go a different way?
Yeah, once again, we are a bunch of elite athletes who've experienced success our whole careers, from grade school to high school. I would say that 90% of the team has never really experienced a true losing record, and with that, our mentality could have completely went down a different path in the sense that we could have lost the want and the drive to go out and practice, to prepare ourselves to win games. I think everyone's mindset here going into a season is to win a national championship, and to see within the first 4 weeks that that opportunity was going to get pushed aside, and the chances became slimmer and slimmer as you lose more games. Your mindset can completely go in the wrong direction. And I think that with the leadership that we had here, with this great group of seniors, we were able to maintain the energy and the focus and the discipline to continue to have that winning mentality and to remain the football powerhouse that Notre Dame is, in the sense that our mental side of things allow us to really be engaged in practice and really dive into our game plans each week and really be focusing on the things that allow us to continue to win.
DeShone, just wondering, you've talked about all year about winning each week and trying to get to a certain goal. Obviously, the national championship was the original goal. Is the bowl game now the fact that if you know you win the last 2 games, you know you can get there. It's kind of clear cut what it's going to take. Is that a big motivating factor you feel for this team for the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a motivating factor, but I think it's more along the lines of just being a winning program. 6-6 is a big feat to get to rather than being 5-7. We want to be a team who continues on winning tradition at Notre Dame, and I think that in order to get to a bowl game, it aligns right along with that. But right now, our main focus that we've learned through the losses that we've gone to is just to win, this week. Not only do we have 2 games out there, but we have 2 games against 2 really good opponents. Virginia Tech is one of the hotter teams in the country right now, playing really good defense, throwing the ball all over the place, really electric. And obviously, not to look ahead, but USC is doing the same exact thing. So for us, it's us focusing in on how we can do whatever we can to just go 1-0 this week and to experience the fight song in the locker room and take on those amazing traditions of winning here.
To get those 2 wins and get to 6-6, considering where you guys were at one point in the year, how big of an accomplishment do you feel that would be for this team?
I think it would show that we're heading in the direction that we should be. In the beginning of the year, we really weren't, and it was apparent through our record that we weren't, on the line that we wanted to be on. And since we've acknowledged that and put forth the effort and the time to change that, I would say that the Duke game might be a time where we really changed our mental and focused in on it and had a couple, heart-to-hearts in here to figure out the best way to go about it. Our mentality and our program is heading right back on the right direction of winning. I think that to get to a bowl game would be the best part of this season that shows that we are back on that track of winning and getting ourselves in a position to continue on the winning tradition that Notre Dame has always had.
You've been pretty open about just not really sure what's going to happen for your future. Obviously, this potentially could be your last game in Notre Dame Stadium if you decide to leave. Do you think about that at all, and will you look around anything Saturday just in case if it is?
The thought has definitely crossed my mind. I can definitely acknowledge that, but I think that with that, you have to treat every game like it's your last. And I think that this season has really shown me that, to appreciate every opportunity that you have to step in that stadium. Through a competition with Malik, through a rough start, I think that those opportunities and those experiences that I've had in that stadium have been awesome, and I've definitely learned to appreciate them. But like I said, there's so many things that you can learn from through this season. I think one is to take each game for the game it is, to look ahead and to say that this could be my last game. That would add a lot more pressure than it's already out there. I think that it's just more important to focus in on the opportunity that you have in front of you, and that's to play, just another game out there with my brothers, with a great senior class who I know is going to be playing in their last game, and to do whatever it takes to try to bring another win home.
How much do you want to get the W for those seniors?
That'd be everything to me. This season has been all over the place, but one thing that's remained consistent is the leadership that's come from that senior class, and for us to get a win on their last home game would be absolutely amazing.